Crowds were heavy and registration lines were long as the Festival of Faith opened its doors on an early Friday morning in October. Thousands of Catholics had converged on the Stevens Convention Center to celebrate their faith together.
The Cardinal wants to pull together the church as often as he can, and this is a way for him to bring parishes together and also institutions within parishes, schools, religious education communities, so we might see ourselves as one and enrich one another with our faith.
Among the keynote speakers early in the program was Bishop George Murray of Youngstown, Ohio. The topic for this former Chicagoan, "The love of Christ impels our vision."
Because Christ loves us, that love, which is very powerful, sends us out to share that love with other people. And the second point is that we have to think of ourselves as a missionary church. Missionaries spend their time reaching out to people who haven't heard the good news, and we have to think that way and not become complacent and expect people to come to us.
There were seminars covering evangelization, catechesis, and practical everyday challenges of following our faith. Dozens of vendors were on hand to network with others and take advantage of this large gathering of Catholics.
I just think it's a wonderful way to gather everybody. We're so diverse here. We're so far-flung. We're so huge that I noticed this year the way it was publicized was a little different. There's a family track, I think, for the first time this year, and I found it on Facebook, and even some young adults were like, oh, I'm going to that, and I was meeting a lot of younger people who were coming to this.
A lot of the talk radio that you hear out there in the mainstream just kind of really gets you down. There's really nothing positive out there from our listeners, and when they listen to us, they feel like that they're being rejuvenated. And it's also, I had one listener tell me it's kind of like getting your little mass of the day through the radio.
Coming close to Africa.
The Catholic Missions Office, at its exhibit, Journey in Mission, treated festival attendees to a trip around the world, complete with guides and border guards.
The idea is to help people recognize our mission identity, because Vatican II taught us that we are all called to mission by reason of our baptism. So the idea is to give people a sense of mission and the excitement of sharing in other people's cultures and countries.
Father Louis Camelli, the Cardinal's delegate for Christian formation, talked to attendees about what he called the Catholic difference and the difference it makes.
The people here at the Festival of Faith are people who are involved in education, religious education, parish ministry. These are the people who really are part of the moving force of the engine of the Archdiocese. And so my hope was that they would get a vocabulary, a language for understanding Catholic identity, and then be able to translate that into their particular ministry and work.
As the first day of the 2009 Catholic Festival of Faith ended, reaction from Catholic school teachers who made up most of the attendees was quite positive.
A young lady was saying that we asked her, were you a teacher? She said, no. She said, I'm just a parent here from her school, her child's school. I said, that's great. So parents, teachers, priests, and everybody's involved. And that's a good thing to see when we come together as one to share.
I teach religion to kindergartners as well as all the other subjects. And so when I come here, I fortify myself by listening to the Word through the liturgy and also going to the workshops.
Our faith is about the ministry of teaching. So we're just following the master teacher. So everything we do needs to be rooted in Christ, and this is a great opportunity for our teachers to just get re-enlivened and reminded of that it's more than a job. It truly is a ministry, and it's a calling to be a part of the Church of Chicago.
After daily Mass, Saturday's festival schedule got off to a rousing start when recording artist Valimir Jansen took the stage.
My message was really passing on the excitement and the passion and the power of our faith. You know, why we go to Mass each week and what we bring to Mass and what we take away and out into the world.
There were individual tracks running on Saturday, including keynote speeches and breakout sessions in Spanish. Hispanic Ministry Director Father Claudio Diaz addressed the important role Spanish-speaking Catholics have in our Catholic faith.
The Latino Catholics are a blessing. They're not like a challenge or a problem. No, we have to flip the formula and understand that they are a blessing to our church. The church in the United States of America has always been enriched by immigrants. We saw that 100 years ago with the Italians and the Polish and the Irish. Well, there's a new immigrant, a new kid on the block, no? And we have to make way and invite that new immigrant to take a place at the table.
Young Adult Ministry had orchestrated an impressive day of activities to invigorate the faith of young adult Catholics. From the In the Spotlight session to the Showcase of Opportunity, young adults could enjoy a day of worship, reflection, and camaraderie.
We had some young adults do some witness talks, just sharing how God has been an important part of their lives. We did some music around that. We did some prayer. We had some actors do some comedy skits for us. We shared in glory and praise of God.
This event, I think, was to help provide young adults with a spark of faith, so that probably most of the people here grew up Catholic and have experience going to Mass and partaking in the Catholic faith, but we wanted to help provide a spark so that they could grow in that, come alive in a little more, and be sent off into their communities to serve in a more life-giving way.
The 2009 festival wrapped up Saturday night with an event called Celebrating Marriage, an Evening to Remember. There was a Mass, an address by former Ambassador to the Vatican, James Nicholson, and his wife, Suzanne, a blessing of married couples by Cardinal George, followed by a dinner that reflected the diversity of the Catholic Church. So why celebrate marriage?
The Catholic Festival of Faith is a celebration of our life with God through the Church, and the sacrament of marriage is a major part of that life with God. So gathering couples together is a sign of encouragement to them, to celebrate the love that they have, but also to pray with them and encourage them toward a life of faith together.
And working the room among married couples for lots of laughs, Sister Mary Pat of the Funny Nun and Donovan Entertainment Production Company.
But he was probably very persistent, huh? Now, nowadays that would be considered stalking.
Working the Festival of Faith with photographers Mike May and Brian Brock, I'm Jim Dish, reporting for the Church, the Cardinal, and You.